Hey brothers, what's going on? I'm JK, your brother in this struggle, head coach and founder of the PornReboot system. Today we're going to be talking about 3 mistakes that I notice high performers making when setting their goals for the new year when it comes to ending their out of control behavior. So I remember it was probably about 2009 and I was 25 years old. I was barely 2 years into my reboot. And back then, my biggest concern at this point was wondering why there was nothing new, happening in my life, because I've been doing the reboot thing for a while. So that afterglow of my reboot had faded. So I was deep in what we now call the maintenance stage. I was living a lifestyle which ensured that my rewired brain would stay that way. And I instinctively knew that this stage of my reboot wasn't just about excitement or instant gratification, but it was really about living a life of consistency. But still, the routine, sameness of everything, it would make me sad sometimes. And I really wanted to grow, but I was afraid that if I tried to grow too fast, I'd screw up and I'd, break my reboot, by getting very stressed out and I'd relapse. So I gained a lot of control of my sexual behavior. I'd made some money in my door-to-door sales career, but my team back then, it consisted of my girlfriend, me, and my best friend. So in my work, I was playing small so as not to threaten my reboot, but I still had big goals. I just came up with the same results all the time. And the company I worked with was filled with these, what I call type A personalities. Everyone was like a stud or a winner. And I was type B, not very driven, not very motivated. And I remember one time after a pretty demoralizing performance, the president of the company just sat me down. He was pretty direct. He said, JK, I've known you since you were about 21 years old. And I don't know what happened to you in the last 2 years, but you've matured a lot. And I think it's because you got yourself a girlfriend. So I remember laughing because I was a little bit relieved because I thought he was going to chew me out on our poor performance. But I also knew that it wasn't just my relationship which had changed me. It was my reboot. So of course I wasn't going to tell him that, but I felt validated. And then the next thing he asks me was, JK, can you run an organization? Now I stopped smiling because running an organization meant leading several teams which are overseen by different managers, and you have to build that on your own. So this was a huge responsibility. And here's the crazy thing. I was far from a top performer in the company, but I had nothing else going on for me in my life. I was a 25-year-old porn addict who was rebooting. And the past 5 years, I'd been hyper-focused on quitting porn and, fixing all my perceived flaws. So this was really my chance to be somebody. And I remember my heart beating and I just told him, yes, sir, I can. And I'm paraphrasing right now, but he said, well, JK, building an organization is really about becoming a leader, and the best way to lead is by example, right? So that was the beginning of my journey to becoming a high performance leader. And I learned very quickly that you cannot lead others until you can lead yourself. So my years of leading myself, pretty much through my reboot, had prepared me for this role. And as it turns out, leadership was just the right sort of newness or excitement that I needed in my life. And the reason why so many high-performing professionals stay stuck in their reboot, in their career and in their business is that they do not have the goal of actually becoming a high-performance leader. So even though I had the opportunity, right, I still had to set and achieve the right goals. So I'm going to share with you the biggest mistakes that I see high-achieving, high-performing men make, but around their sexual behavior. So I'm going to relate it to your business and your career. So the first mistake is that I often see these high-performing men, very ambitious men. You have very clear goals, like things like, I'm going to grow my business by 40% this year. I'm going to sell $50,000 worth of whatever. I'm going to make $15,000 this month, but you're very unclear about your goals with your sexual behavior. The most common thing that I hear from busy professionals, this is from reading hundreds and hundreds of their applications, is that, I just want to understand the root cause, or I just want a system that works. I want to feel better about myself. I want to stop using PMO to medicate emotions, and I want to perform normally in bed. That's good, but none of those are specific goals. So you would never let that type of goal setting fly in business or in your career, right? Imagine a sales rep who works for you telling you, or a real estate agent saying, I don't know, I'm gonna make a little bit more money, maybe do a few more open houses, maybe get a promotion. That's not specific. The second mistake is that they have goals, but not a clear timeline for those goals. So again, in your business and in your career, you have clear goals and set periods of time to achieve those goals. So for example, you may have a goal of, I'm gonna sell $84,000 worth of this product on my Shopify store per month, or I'm gonna make $1 million a year. That's clear. But when it comes to rebooting, all the time I see people who just throw around goals with no timeline. By timeline, I don't mean counting day by day, all right? So it's no wonder that you haven't hit your reboot goals yet, right? Even getting clear about things like, I want to be able to have sex with my wife 2 times a week despite my PIED. It isn't enough unless you attach a specific time period to it. For example, you could say something like, I want to have sex with a full erection once this month, or 9 times in the next 3 months, and 24 times in the next 6 months. Or I want to be porn-free by the end of this quarter, in control of my behavior with masturbation by the end of the next quarter, and truly feel that I can live in control of my sexual behavior, for the rest of my life within 12 months. Now, if that sounded too much, it's okay. We can help you set goals like this. You just need to put in an application. There's a link to it in the description below the video. But let's move on to the third mistake. The third mistake I see being made by ambitious, high-performing professionals is that your goal has no leverage. It's very important to make sure that you have reasons why your goal really matters to you. And in order to do this, you must get clear on who you need to become while achieving that goal. And when you focus on who you need to become in the process, then you begin to see the big picture. So many of my clients have found that aiming to become the very best or even larger than life version of themselves, that actually makes this process so much easier. We have a process that we teach you on how to do this literally every morning, how to create that perfect version of yourself that doesn't exist yet. See, it's one thing to stop watching pornography or to have sex with your wife more often, to be intimate with her more often, but it's another thing to also become a leader who inspires everyone in your family, in your intimate relationships, in your organization, in your career, by challenging yourself daily and living a life of control, which very few men can claim. It's a whole different level of goal achievement to stay off pornography and control your behavior with masturbation, but also to become a person who is filled with passion, to have elevated standards, to be wildly fulfilled, to be winning with your sexual health, in your wealth, your finances, in your every aspect of your life, right? And there's a lot more that I can say about high performance leadership and controlling sexual behavior. You are more than welcome to continue the conversation with other high performers in our free group, which is called the PornReboot group. A lot of guys ask me, like, you talk about this group, where can I find it? Guys, it's in the description below this video. You just gotta scroll, click on it, and you see a link to the group. I'm JK, your brother in this struggle. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'll speak to you later on in the week. Whenever you're ready, here are 4 ways that PornReboot can help you out for free. The first way is to subscribe to our channel and make sure you click on the notification bell to get a new video every other day. The second way is to get a copy of the free book, Confessions of a Porn Addict, 7 Secrets of Porn-Free Men. You'll learn about my personal struggle and the lessons I've learned over a decade, as well as strategies for putting together your porn reboot plan and ending your compulsive behavior with pornography or masturbation. So click on the link in the description below this video. The third way is, if you're not sure where to start, but you'd like to learn more about my team and I, if you'd like to spend time with like-minded professionals, entrepreneurs, business owners, guys who work in sales, consulting, or high-level jobs, men who are controlling their behavior, then join our free and confidential group, the PornReboot group on Facebook. There's also a link to join in the description below this video. And finally, if you need help right now because you have a burning issue, your behavior with pornography is hurting you mentally, you're about to lose your relationship, you want to live up to your potential, you want to be an authentic man and free yourself from shame, guilt, and underachieving, click on the link in the description below this video that says free coaching call, or visit elevatedrecovery.org and click on the link which says book a call.